tomorrow on January 6th. I'm very excited. This is our 1776 moment.
My body camera captured the violence of the crowd. I was dragged from the line of officers. I heard someone scream, "I got one!" They began to beat me with what felt like hard metal objects.
You can't allow it to just transfer power peacefully.
I heard chanting from some in the crowd, "Kill him with his own gun." I said as loud as I could manage, "I've got kids."
We have a sea of people. If we flood the Capitol building, go inside.
I ended up on my hands and knees and blind. He yelled at me, shouting, "You will die on your knees."
The people who breached the Capitol on January 6th are being abused. When will the witch hunt come to an end?
One woman in a pink MAGA shirt yelled, "You hear that, guys? This voted for Joe Biden." Then the crowd joined in screaming, "Boo!
You can't allow it to just transfer power the Capitol peacefully are being abused.
This is our 1776 moment.
The indifference is disgraceful.
1776! 1776! Fuck Antifa! Fuck Antifa! The last one is Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution.
And we will win this fight, or America would step off into 1,000 years of darkness.
I was born here when there was a war against fascism raging in Europe. My great-grandfather fought in the Civil War, and my uncle was shot down by the Nazis, but I never thought I'd see it here.
Multiple capital injuries! Multiple capital injuries!
Yells at the officers on the west terrace of the Capitol above them to start shooting what they have into the crowd.
Damn it, we need them! Let's go! Shoot it! Go! Shoot! Shoot!
The less lethal team fires into the crowd for a third time. Three minutes later, at 1:21 p.m., the first explosive munition of the day is discharged. The demonstrators at the West Plaza of the Capitol will be hit by an unrelenting barrage of grenades, incendiaries, rubber bullets, and gas for the next hour.
Hey, fire! Hey, you're fire! Hey, you good? You good? Hey, it's fire! That was my fire. We got another individual down. People are doing CPR and the GC5 response to this ASAP.
At 1:28 p.m., a man has collapsed on the West Plaza and is attended to by people in the crowd.
They can't get anybody in here, and the cops are throwing flashbangs into the crowd.
He is unresponsive for several minutes. Fearing the risk of trampling, they carry him to a different location where they continue to try to resuscitate him.
He's having a heart attack. He's been on the ground for 6 minutes. They carried him. They've been doing CPR. I think that man probably died. I hope they saved his life.
Kevin Greason leaves behind a wife and 5 children.
Tonight, the FBI releasing new video of the person suspected of planning those pipe bombs the night before the Capitol riot. And the FBI officially confirming those pipe bombs placed at the Democratic and Republican National Committee headquarters could kill.
These pipe bombs were viable devices that could have been detonated, resulting in serious injury or death.
The video offering specific detail on the suspect's movements. At 7:40, the suspect seen walking along this residential street. Investigators interested in their somewhat unusual gait. Moments later, a person walking a dog passes by. By 7:52, the suspect has made it to the DNC headquarters. The suspect sits on a bench and appears to fumble with that backpack. A bomb is later discovered in the bush adjacent to the bench. At 8:14, the same suspect walking down an alley next to the RNC headquarters. A bomb placed there as well before exiting the area, walking past the Capitol Hill Club. The FBI hinting at a profile as it asked for the public's help.
Since January 5th, you may have noticed changes in someone you know. It could be bragging about what they did while on Capitol Hill, following this story very closely, or exhibiting an unusual emotional response to the reporting of this story.
And the FBI providing more details about the bombs. They apparently contained black powder, and the FBI interested in where those attached kitchen timers came from. Authorities also releasing images of the suspect's Nikes in hopes it will trigger a lead.
The Capitol on January 6th, but couldn't find someone in Virginia. One of the lead investigators in Biden's FBI said they couldn't track his phone because the service provider gave them corrupt data. But if the cell data was corrupt, how'd Trump's FBI use it to catch the guy? So 5,000 agents, 4 years, and no one investigated the guy with the bombs. But Trump's team cracked it in less than a year. Bondi said all it took was some elbow grease.
Let me be clear. There was no new tip. There was no new witness. Just good, diligent police work and prosecutorial work, working as a team, along with ATF, Capitol Police, Metropolitan Police Department, and, of course, the FBI.
Not only did the Biden FBI botch the case, it doesn't even really look like they investigated it. Remember, Ray dragged his feet before releasing the video.
Will you commit to releasing the full tapes to the public immediately?
No, sir, I can't make that commitment.
Congress needs to subpoena Chris Wray and make him testify under oath immediately.
All of us here today do not want to see our election victory stolen. There's never been anything like this. It's a pure theft in American history. Everybody knows it. Because they want to steal the election. Make no mistake, this election was stolen from you, from me, and from the country. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong. But I said, something's wrong here. Something's really wrong. Can't have happened. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. Unbelievable what we have to go through. What we have to go through. And you have to get your people to fight. We will not let them silence your voices. We're not going to let it happen. Not going to let it happen. Never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore, and that's what this is all about. And to use a favorite term that all of you people really came up with, we will stop the steal. So we're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue. And we're going to the Capitol, and we're going to try and give, the Democrats are hopeless. They're never voting for anything. Not even one vote. But we're going to try and give our Republicans, the weak ones, because the strong ones don't need any of our help, we're going to try and give them the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country.
January 6th was a disgrace. American citizens attacked their own government. They used terrorism to try to stop a specific piece of domestic business they did not like. Fellow Americans beat and bloodied our own police. They stormed the Senate floor. They tried to hunt down the Speaker of the House. They built a gallows and chanted about murdering the Vice President. There's no question, none, that President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day. No question about it. The people who stormed this building believed they were acting on the wishes and instructions of their president. And having that belief was a foreseeable consequence of the growing crescendo of false statements, conspiracy theories, and reckless hyperbole, which the defeated president kept shouting into the largest megaphone on planet Earth.
Mary, good morning. Some answers here after a 5-year mystery. For the first time, prosecutors detailing the lengthy confession they say Brian Cole gave after his arrest earlier this month, allegedly admitting to placing those pipe bombs outside the RNC and DNC on January 6th. But the big question has always been why. Well, while he has not yet entered a plea, prosecutors say during his confession, Cole seemed to reference some of President Trump's false claims of fraud in the 2020 election, saying he felt, quote, like something was wrong, adding that people who felt that their votes are just being thrown away were being ignored by officials on both sides. Soon, Cole allegedly telling investigators, quote, something just snapped. According to the court filing, he allegedly said he wanted to do something to the parties because, quote, they were in charge. Still, Cole allegedly saying he isn't an openly political person and denied that he was targeting Congress as it was certifying President Joe Biden's win. In fact, prosecutors say when asked why he targeted both headquarters, he said, I really don't like either party at this point, noting his idea came from his interest in history and a conflict in Ireland. And while Cole said he placed those bombs at night to actually prevent any deaths, according to the filing, prosecutors claiming otherwise, saying his actions, quote, risk the lives not only of innocent pedestrians and office workers, but also of law enforcement, first responders, and national political leaders. Malika.
Fox News alert, the January 6th pipe bomb suspect just made his first court appearance. Sources tell Fox he'd been talking to investigators before the hearing and admitted to planning the bombs. He appeared in court unshackled, dressed in a tan jumpsuit. His family was cheering him on. We love you, Brian. We're here for you, baby. Cole lived with his mom at her house in Virginia, just 20 miles from Washington. Neighbors knew him as the guy that walked his Chihuahua. Apparently, he'd wear shorts all year round, even in the dead of winter. His grandmother calls him very naive and almost autistic-like, saying he wouldn't hurt a fly. But the FBI says otherwise. Apparently, all evidence points to Cole. Cole's cell phone pinged in the area around the RNC and DNC on January 5th, 2021. And his red Toyota was placed a half a mile from the bombs. So they triangulated his cell phone, pulled some credit card statements, and ran his plates. That's Detective 101 work. Joe Biden's FBI had 4 years to figure that out, and Chris Wray told Bret Baier how hard they tried.
I have enormous confidence in the team, the dedicated team that is focused exclusively on that investigation, and we have devoted loads and loads of effort into that specific investigation. And those folks, those FBI agents, analysts, and professional staff, I have total confidence in them.
Biden's FBI made excuse after excuse.
In prior COVID times, in any neighborhood, I think, in the country, if you saw an individual hooded, masked, glasses, gloves on, it would have been a red flag for any individual walking around that day. In this case, it wasn't, because of the environment that we were living in during COVID times.
The feds traveled across the country to catch every grandmother who walked through the Capitol on January 6th, but couldn't find someone in Virginia. Okay. The guy began building the bombs in 2019. He bought most of the supplies before the election was stolen. We don't know if this guy was righty, lefty, upside downy, but Judge Jeanine Pirro says he was disappointed in various aspects of the election, but it's not clear whether he supported Trump or Biden. This guy was an equal opportunity bomber, planting bombs at both the RNC and the DNC. And this is interesting. His father retained Ben Crump, otherwise known as Al Sharpton 2.0, when he filed a racial discrimination lawsuit. The dad ran a bail bonds company for illegals and sued the Trump administration, claiming DHS was screwing him out of money. Now, that lawyer is repping his son, and he doesn't even practice criminal law, which is probably why the kid confessed. Great lawyer. Something tells me this guy's a little. His grandma called him autistic. He wears shorts in the dead of winter, works part-time for his dad. The bombs didn't even work, and he kept his cell phone on him the whole night. And not only that, he bought all the bomb parts on a credit card. He even waved to a cop car the night he planted the bombs. Sounds like the dumbest bomber in America. And Biden's FBI couldn't even catch him. The whole thing stinks. This was a huge case that went unsolved for years. Kamala Harris could have been killed before she was even sworn in. A black guy almost killed the first black vice president outside of the Democrat National Committee. And the case collected dust? And why wasn't Kamala Harris knocking heads together at the Bureau? Hey, guys, you ever find the guy that tried to bomb me to bits? Thanks to Trump's FBI, we finally have something. But the fact that it took so long makes me really wonder about who the heck this guy is. We still don't even know if he acted alone.